Hi everyone, welcome to week 5. I apologize for my background. I had to get some work done in my kitchen, so my kitchen is in my office right now. So I apologize for that. Welcome to week 5. This week we are going to be discussing court documents, and the lecture materials are really great this week. They discuss the different court documents that you might be filing, and they dive into the specifics of how important it is to follow the rules and the procedures of court when you file a court document. There's usually a specific format that you need, and specific information that should be included, and there's deadlines that need to be met. So even though these deadlines and procedures and rules will differ among courts, the idea is to always ensure that you're checking to make sure that you're filing the document or motion or whatever it is in accordance with the appropriate rules. So that's just an important thing to remember. And please take your time on these lecture materials this week because they're really good, and there's a lot of good information in the different attachments. So make sure you go through them and you give yourself time to do that. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Okay, so that's the lecture materials. Next, I wanted to mention the discussion board for week 5. So this week 5 discussion board is a little bit different. You are going to be taking the midterm that you submitted in week 4, which was the client letter, and you're going to apply the rubric that was included in the instructions to the client letter that you submitted to me, and you are going to act as the instructor. You are going to review your submission and compare and contrast it to what was included in the rubric, and give yourself comments, say what you did well, what you maybe could have improved on, and then share that in the discussion post. So the idea here is that everything we're doing is a learning tool, and all of us at times have submitted something thinking it was perfectly fine, and then you go back and you look at it a few days later and you think, oh my goodness, I shouldn't have done this, or I should have done that. And personally, I have done that. So this is a way of, okay, you're taking a fresh look at it. What would you have done differently? Or maybe you wouldn't have done anything differently, and that's good too. Maybe you're perfectly happy with what you submitted and you would have submitted the exact same document again. That's fine. So basically, just go into it with a good attitude. Be willing to accept constructive criticism, because that is how we learn. Be willing to look at other people's work and think, oh, they made a mistake here. Maybe I should be careful not to make that same mistake. Or maybe they did something really great. Let me remember to do that in my next legal document that I draft. So this is a no judgment zone. None of us are perfect. Everybody can use improvement, and we can all learn from each other. So go in with a good attitude and knowing nobody is judging, I promise. That's not happening in my class. We are just learning from each other. Okay, so that is the discussion board. Next, we have our larger assignment this week, and that is the next part of the portfolio project, which is a predictive memo. And basically, you're going to be putting your research plan from week 3 into action. You are going to be drafting a predictive memo to a supervising attorney about that motion to move to federal court. So you are going to just objectively state the law as you know it compared to our facts to determine if you think a court would grant your motion to move the case to federal court. And if you remember back from when we were doing the research plan, we discovered that the 2 ways that we're most likely to be able to move to federal court is by, one, saying that there's original federal jurisdiction, given that the underlying issue is trademark law, which is a federal law. And then the other option is arguing that there's diversity of citizenship, and that means that you have 2 different parties from 2 different states. So those are our 2 arguments, and you are going to be explaining them in a predictive memo. Remember, stay objective, state the law. You're not persuading anyone of anything, just like we did back in legal research and writing, just stating the law. And if you go to the instructions, it'll say the exact headings that I'd like and all the information that you should include. As always, if you have any questions as you're drafting, please reach out. Okay, and then we also have a reflection, and hopefully you can tell from my comments and responses that I definitely read your reflections and I do value them, and I think They're a great way to help you make connections. So please take your time on your reflection this week and know that you're not wasting your time. Okay, and finally, if you have any missing work, any zeros in your gradebook, I really encourage you to submit now because this class gets busier and busier. It does not get easier. It gets a little bit harder. So this, would be a good time to start thinking about any missing assignments and try to work on them. As you know, a lot of these assignments build on each other. And so if you don't have it, you're not able to move to the next step. Like even just for example, this discussion board, it relates to the midterm. So if you didn't turn in the midterm, you should do that so then you can work on the discussion board. Please note, a zero is a grade killer. Submitting something is always better than not submitting anything. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you submit something and you're not happy with it, you at least get the benefit of my comments. And that is what this class is all about. Submitting something, I can comment, and then you can learn from them. So if you don't submit it, you're not going to get that, and then you're not going to learn, and then what are you here for? So please submit. And if you have any questions on anything, current assignments, past assignments, anything legal related, I am here for you. Reach out anytime, and I look forward to having a great week 5. Thanks so much.